There's no warning, no slow fade into awareness. It just happens. One moment, nothing. The next, your consciousness just snaps back on, and the very first thing you feel isn't drowsiness, it's confinement. You wake up, and you're trapped.
So those first few seconds are just a frantic scramble for information. You're trying to figure out where you are, and the cold reality starts to sink in, fast.
The air is just thick, stale, and cold. And the darkness, it's absolute. The first thing you register is the touch of stone, rough and freezing against your skin. It's everywhere, a solid, unmoving barrier on all sides.
You try to look up, and even though you can't see a thing, you can feel the crushing scale of the place. The walls are high, 10 feet. This isn't just some small room. It feels like a pit. There is no climbing out of this.
You're totally disoriented. You find yourself on your hands and knees, just scrambling in the blackness, trying to map out the space with your fingertips. How big is this place? Is there a door? Your entire world is just shrunk down to whatever you can touch.
And then the real horror hits you. It's not the darkness or the walls. It's this sickening wave of familiarity as your hands trace the cold stone. This isn't new. Oh no, you've been this way before. This has happened before.
And that's when you realize you're not just trapped. You're not alone in here. There is something else in the darkness with you.
You don't see it, not really. It's a feeling, a sudden, sharp drop in temperature right next to you, a presence. And then you feel it. A swipe of frigid air rushes past your face, the icy claw.
You never get a clear look. It's all just these terrifying, fragmented pieces. You feel that cold swipe. You sense something shifting over in the corner. And for just a split second, you think you see two tiny, reflective points, beady eyes, before they just vanish back into the crushing darkness.
The not knowing is always the worst part, isn't it? Your mind is just racing, trying to put it all together. What is it? What could it want? And what's going to happen if it decides to get closer?
And right in the middle of all this terror, your mind decides to be cruel. It escapes. It reminds you vividly of what it feels like to be free.
All of a sudden, you can almost hear it. Not the dead silence of this stone room, but the sound of leaves rustling. You can picture them dancing in the wind. Such a simple, beautiful thing that meant the world was open and alive. You remember warmth, real warmth, the feeling of the sun on your face, on your skin. A feeling so basic, so essential, that the lack of it now is like a physical pain.
And you remember what it feels like to be connected to something, lying in the grass, feeling the solid, living earth beneath you, feeling like you're a part of the world, not cut off from it in this cold, dead place. But this memory, it isn't a comfort. It's torture. It just makes the reality of where you are so much sharper, until all you can imagine is yourself with your hands held out, just pleading for a key that you know is never, ever going to come. And that feeling of absolute helplessness, of pleading into an empty room, it feeds into the next horrifying layer of this prison. It's not just the walls or the thing in the corner. It's knowing with certainty that you are being watched.
Think about the power difference here. You are trapped, completely blind, just feeling your way through the dark. But they can see beyond the door. Your entire universe is this tiny stone box, but for them, you're just a little blip on a monitor, something they can control from a safe distance.
So now, any sound from the outside isn't a sign of hope, no. It's a reminder of how powerless you are. A voice, footsteps, some distant call, that's them. It means they're thinking about you, and your fate is completely in their hands. The silence is awful, but hearing them is so much worse.
But then, something starts to shift. You're trapped. You're being hunted. You're being watched. And when there's absolutely no escape, the human mind, well, it does some very strange things. It begins to adapt.
And this is a turning point. It's a declaration. This isn't about escaping anymore. It's about conquering the space you're in. The darkness, which was your enemy, your prison, it's about to become something totally different. So this is the real mystery, right? What is Dungeon Vision? Is it just your eyes finally, physically adjusting to the pitch black? Or is it something more? A brand new sense, born out of pure terror and isolation? It seems to be a process. First, you're trapped. Then, after so long, the sharp panic fades into this constant, dull reality. It becomes familiar. And it's in that familiarity that you stop trying to see in the dark, and
and you start to see through it. You start to perceive things without any light at all.
It's a really chilling thought. Your own senses are rewriting their own rules just so you can survive. You don't need light anymore to know where the walls are or to know where that thing in the corner is. You just see. Dungeon vision.
And that's the question that really sticks with you. This new kind of sight, this dungeon vision, is it showing you what's actually there? Or is it just your mind under impossible pressure, creating its own reality just to cope? When you're forced to see without light, what starts to look back at you from the shadows?